Here's a nice little question for you. What are the female warriors called in Black Panther? Answer at the end of the video. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome back to another Lost the Plot video. I know we're getting a little bit carried away now with 2 releases in 1 week, especially after our 3-week absence. But like I said, we've turned a corner. We're here to release content and we're here to give you reviews. There will be more content coming up in the next few weeks with all of us together. I know it's been a minute, but we're going to do it, and there is some videos in the pipeline. But moving on with today's video, we are going to be reviewing the fantastic film that is The Woman King. But before we get on to the review, we always do a little synopsis. An African tribe stand up to European slavers and show their true power. This film from me gets a 7.5 out of 10, and I'm going to be honest, I really enjoyed it. I did read reviews beforehand and they were quite mixed. A lot of them were quite negative, but I have to say I strongly disagree with a lot that I had read. Starting off with the cinematography, this film is shot absolutely superbly, and I feel like it encapsulates African culture so very well, from the minute details of the negatives as well as the positives and all this celebrations and traditions. I find the African culture absolutely mind-blowing and I absolutely love it, and I feel like this film did a very good depiction of it. I know this film's basically fiction. It is based on true events, but a lot of it, even though based off fiction, was very engaging and entertaining, as well as the storyline being compelling. There were genuine moments of shock and silence. The story was very well written in my opinion, and it provided those plot twist moments that genuinely evoked a reaction from the audience. It wasn't predictable by any stretch of imagination, and there were a few plot twists in there, like I've mentioned, that really did make you engage and further that story. It was really good and entertaining. However, the story in the second act was far too prolonged. The film started off with a big clasp of thunder and it was fantastic. The action sequences were absolutely superb and it embodied this powerful tribe of women soldiers excellently. I loved how it started. But when the second act came to pass, it was quite slow. Too slow. And I feel like it was filled with moments and dialogue that wasn't that impactful or purposeful on the main story at all. It's when you start at such a high standard and a high pace, it's difficult then to slow it down too much because it detracts from the film, and in my opinion, this did. The third act, however, picks up tremendously, and my god, it's one of the most entertaining finishes to a film that I have ever seen. It was brilliant, and I'm going to say it again, the action sequences were genuinely breathtaking. They were so different and refreshing. The only thing I would say is I'd love a little bit more brutality and gore in there, just to really show what times were like in the 19th century, because they were excellent and so interesting. And I'd just like to say, this film does an absolutely fantastic job of empowering women in a sense that isn't too far the other way. They do not show men being better than women. They do not show women being better than men. But what they do is they empower both of them to show how they can thrive in an environment together. There is no tattailing, there is no silly little ridiculous plot lines of, oh, we're better than you, you're better than us, blah, 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 blah. They did a fantastic job of empowering all of them. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant the way in which this film was structured in that sense. And I'd just like to talk about the actors. Viola Davis, amazing. Lashana Lynch, amazing. Thusu Mbedu, amazing. Sheila Atim, amazing. All of these characters help this story progress, and they were so entertaining to watch. Really, really entertaining. Lashana Lynch was especially brilliant. I've slated her in the past in Marvel films because she's been shocking, but in this film, she really, really does an absolutely fantastic job, and I can't praise her enough. The cast is brilliant. Even John Boyega has a little performance, and he's absolutely brilliant. I think he's excellent as King. But the main negatives is that the second act was far too prolonged and they slowed it down far too much. They've done an amazing job of empowering women, an amazing job of entertaining action sequences. The cast was spot on and the storyline and plot twists were engaging. The only problem is they hinted at a love interest, and I couldn't stand it because that went against every single thing that this film was on about. But ultimately, they didn't dwell on it too much, which made me extremely happy, because if they did, I'd have been furious. But they didn't, so it's all good. I would very much advise you to watch this film. It's excellent. The second act is slow, okay? But bear with it, because Act 1 and Act 3 are very, very entertaining. I very much enjoyed it, and I thought the messages of the film were absolutely fantastic. And that's it. A second review that you get in 1 week. I know. You're as happy as we are. It's amazing. But before I finish, there was a question that I posed to you at the very start of the video. And that question was, what are the female warriors called in Black Panther? The answer is the Dora Milaje. And the reason why that's relevant is because there are stories in African history and culture that talk about these female warriors, the Dora Milaje, the Ogoje, and they do a fantastic job, and it's so different and so brilliant. That's why that is relevant. The next review that you will get will probably be Werewolf by Night, which is the new Marvel release, and you will get, I know you're excited, a Rings of Power review from me and Matthew, as well as a She-Hulk series review from all 4 of us in the coming weeks. So strap yourselves in and get excited for it, all right? Nice. I shall see you in the next one. I've said au revoir, I've said arrivederci, I've said ciao. So just a good old-fashioned see you later, mate. See you in the next one.